Hi, this is Mansi Bhati. I welcome you all for today's session of my podcast series where we talk to experts on mental health and try to have a dialogue on some of the mainstream concerns affecting mental sanity. I would like to welcome Dr. Rahul Khemani, who shall counsel us on today's topic of discussion, that is adverse effect of cannabis on mental health. We really appreciate you making out time for this venture, sir. Cannabis, pot, weed, or marijuana are a dozen more colorful names given to the popularly named dope substance called ganja, which is an illegal drug in India and probably in most of the countries around the world. Medical practitioners do prescribe it because of its therapeutic use, yet its mind bending properties cannot be underestimated. Addiction is the worst part of this game. The good, bad, and the ugly sides of smoking cannabis have forever been mooted. Before understanding this scenario better, I would like you to give brief introduction about yourself to our audience.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Rahul Khemani. I'm a consultant psychiatrist practicing in Mumbai. I have my own clinic, Heart and Mind Clinic, in Borivali, Mumbai, and along with that, I practice in various hospitals across Malad to Mira Bhayandar. I specialize in de-addiction and child mental health. Thank you so much for inviting me today to talk upon this important topic, particularly among young adolescents, about cannabis de-addiction.
It's my pleasure to be discussing this topic with someone who is extremely experienced in this. Being a research professional, I want to start this conversation with the report which I have. The Ames Hospital circulated a report in 2019 that is estimated about 7.2 million Indians aged between 10 to 80 years had consumed cannabis within the past years. It forms an immediate impression in my mind that a drug with such a high demand must stand legalized by the government, which is definitely not the current scenario. Cigarettes and alcohol cause more deaths in the world, which is a proven fact. What makes marijuana such a hard drug?
This is the commonest question that teenagers and young adults always ask me. Marijuana overdose has been found to be extremely fatal. It is very addictive in nature and it impairs the memory and judgment skills. Imagine that happening in young individuals. Now understand, this drug adversely affects one's health despite the proven medicinal use for the past thousands of years. So if it's made legal, young adults will obviously use it very frequently due to its easy availability. I understand marijuana can make you feel very happy, peaceful, and mellow, but you can never imagine how dangerous those feelings might be and it can harm your life. The legislation of marijuana in India would be absolutely erroneous if compared to nicotine and alcohol, which already are the two biggest killers. Marijuana impacts both the mind and body, and it has known to play a big role in mental health disorders such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and psychosis in vulnerable individuals. It is also observed that places where marijuana is easily available, those are the scenes of heinous crimes. Besides this, we also know that marijuana is a gateway to substance abuse. What is a gateway? It means that people use marijuana and then enter the world of drugs. So imagine how dangerous marijuana is.
Since you said that it does affect a person mentally and physically, I want to know how the usage of cannabis to attain such a psychiatric elevation imposes the risk of physical and mental health over an individual.
Again, a very interesting question. I would say high quality research is needed to determine whether marijuana and other related products are effective and probably safe to treat mental health problems. Although we don't know a lot about the potential health benefits, we don't know the risks, which include addiction. The number of cases coming in for emergencies because of marijuana use has been increasing steadily. We also know marijuana becoming stronger in terms of THC content in the past, which was a cause for a lot of adverse reactions. So, definitely dangerous.
There is a long history of people using cannabis in the form of medicine around the world. Even bhang, another product made of cannabis leaves, is perfectly legal to be regulated and sold in the Indian subcontinent. Also, the Indian government allows the cultivation of cannabis for industrial purposes. So, why smoking the output product from the same plant for recreational use is considered lethal while the other usages are perfectly legalized?
India enacted the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act in 1985, effectively criminalizing the use of the fruit and flower of cannabis but excluding the leaves. The leaves, which Indian grind on a mortar and pestle to make a paste called bhang. Bhang was thus left out from the definition of cannabis. This allowed India to carry on the tradition of large scale consumption of bhang during Holi, unfortunately. Association of cannabis with crimes and by extension social stigma is actually an import from the United States. Though India opposed the classification of cannabis along hard drugs during the 1961 Convention on Narcotic Drugs, it eventually buckled under the pressure in 1985. This was the Cold War era, and India needed the US as an ally and technology. So, answers why it's unfortunately perfectly legalized.
I heard the term called cannabinoids, and after reading about it, my doubts are clear. Can you please explain my audience about it?
Interesting question. The word cannabinoid refers to every chemical substance, regardless of the structure or origin, that joins the cannabinoid receptors of the body and the brain, and thus have similar effects to those produced by the cannabis sativa plant. Now, primarily, three types of cannabinoids that people use are recreational, medicinal, and synthetic. As you correctly said, research says that the cannabis plant produces 80 to 100 cannabinoids and almost 300 non cannabinoid chemicals. The two main cannabinoids are delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol or THC and cannabidiol, that is CBD. THC is the chemical that is responsible for the psychoactive effects of cannabis. The main difference between the two cannabinoids is that THC has a strong psychoactive effect, which means it makes the person high, while CBD is thought to have an anti psychoactive effect, which means that it controls or moderates the high caused by THC. CBD is also thought to reduce some of the other negative effects that people experience from THC, such as anxiety.
I do follow Sadhguru's Hatha Yoga for my own well being, and his talks are most of the time logical. But this one stuck to me, and I thought to ask you. So, once he said during a seminar about how our brain process the ability to produce its own cannabinoids. Is that possible?
I wouldn't be able to comment on what he was referring to or what he was insinuating, considering that I don't follow his channel. However, some people do consume marijuana to get that high, which allows them to access altering or higher consciousness. Meditation is one way to achieve that as well. Meditation refers to techniques in which the individual focuses on something specific, such as an object, a word, or one's own breathing, which is the goal of ignoring external distractions, focusing on one's internal state, and achieving a state of relaxation and well being.
Correct, it's actually about one's belief. And what about addiction? Is marijuana addictive? If yes, then what are the properties in the marijuana drug make it addictive? And I see that some people get easily addicted to its use as compared to other people.
Let's look at this question in two parts. Why do some people become more addicted than others? Marijuana potency, as detected in confiscated samples, has steadily been increasing over the past few decades. In the early 1990s, the average THC content in the samples was less than 4%, as compared to now in 2018, it was found to be much more than 15%. The increasing potency of marijuana combined with the use of high THC concentrates raises concerns that the consequences of marijuana use could be much worse as compared to in the past. Now let's understand the risk factors. It has long been acknowledged that cannabis is a mood altering substance with some potential for risk, including the risk of dependence. The age at which we start smoking matters a lot. Those who start before the age of 18 are 4 to 7 times more likely to develop a cannabis use disorder as compared to those who start later in life. Earlier the use of pot, higher the risk. Also, the frequency matters. A daily to weekly marijuana use has been found to increase the chances that a person becomes dependent on the drug. If you use cannabis infrequently or abstain completely for long periods between uses, this has been found to lower the odds that you'll develop a dependence later on. However, how a person engages with weed is an important factor as well. For example, a study showed that solitary use or using the drug by yourself was a strong sign that dependence would form in the future. Lastly, no risk factor would be complete without talking about the genetics. A 2020 study found that people have genetic liability with cannabis use disorder, meaning they're born with specific genes that increase their risk. However, experts agree that there are usually more contributing factors such as environment, access to marijuana, socioeconomic status, and so much more.
I don't know if it's real, but you know better. Does marijuana have any role to play in the treatment of the COVID-19 virus?
Currently, in this COVID times, there are a lot of young individuals telling me that smoking pot or taking cannabis is allowing them to reduce the COVID anxiety that they are experiencing. But, guys, remember, there are always two ways to take care of such situations, and what you all are doing is absolutely the unhealthy way. If cannabis was the recommended way to reduce anxiety, wouldn't it have been legalized? And also, on top of that, smoking cannabis is going to damage your lungs, which is making you, in fact, more susceptible to the dangerous after effects of COVID. So, obviously, people have a lot of misconceptions, but I believe that these questions answers most of them.
Production, sale, or consumption of cannabis of any quantity in India is illegal yet legal. Delhi, Chandigarh, and Mumbai still top the list of states with the most marijuana consumption. With this, we would like to conclude today's session of our podcast series. Hope you had a nice time. If any questions, please comment. Thank you so much.